Are you looking to buy a house? Everybody wants a new home. Maybe you're thinking right now, man, I wish I can afford a house. What do I need to do? How do I prepare? Credit score, closing costs, what type of loan? I'm gonna give you everything I wish I knew and that I know today in this video. Let's talk about it. What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. We are back. Today we are talking about buying a house. Yes, if you're tuning in right now, that's what we're gonna talk about. I know the market's crazy. It's definitely a seller's market. Everyone's like, man, I wish I could buy a house. If you're, around the age of 20 to 25, maybe even 35, you're like, man, this is a really good time to buy a house if I can find an affordable one. And today I have 11 steps. So you wanna watch till the end, 11 steps of how to be prepared, what do you need to know, and let's get into it. So to buy a house, number one, you want to first save your money. Saving money for your down payment, closing costs, also which includes earnest money, and moving costs. I don't know how I can forget that. That was huge. And you may think, oh, I don't really need money for moving costs. Like, I'm just gonna have some friends. Listen, it helps. I'm just gonna say it helps. Because even if you don't need it for moving costs, you can use it for furniture. You can use it for another appliance that you want installed. Who knows? Either way it goes, you're going to want extra money. So it's better to just do the conservative side of going, okay, let's act as if we're gonna have movers, we're gonna have closing costs, earnest money, the down payment, all of that. And when you put that together, what you'll end up with is a good little nest egg of, okay, we're ready to take the plunge into buying the house. And that's gonna really help you out a lot. Keep in mind, at this point, you may not know how much money you actually need for a down payment or potentially closing costs. Nevertheless, there's never a better time to start saving than to just save. Even if you go, man, I don't know how much the house is gonna cost or what the down payment is gonna cost, but I just want to save money because I know that I eventually want a house, which then leads us to number two, pre-approval. What you can do here is you can contact your local bank. I would prefer local banks because you usually want to work with someone who is local to the area. Usually local banks tend to have better rates than your, Wells Fargo's, Bank of America type situations. So typically you want to go local if you can. And if you have a credit union, even better. And with a pre-approval, you also have to keep in mind what type of loan you're going to get. The higher your credit score, then you can get the conventional loan, which is ideal, right? In my case, I went with the FHA loan. Now, you got the conventional, FHA, VA, and then also the USDA loan. Depending on, obviously, if you're military, then you're gonna get those other options. However, if you're a civilian, more than likely, you're gonna go with the conventional or the FHA. FHA is if you don't have the 20% completely saved up, or your credit's not exactly where it needs to be, and then it is backed by the government. So the FHA loan includes an FHA insurance on your loan, which can be anywhere from $150 all the way up to $250 on top of your loan. So that's gonna be very important with who you go with and where your pre-approval stands, right? You wanna keep that in mind because if you're an FHA loan pre-approval candidate, then you wanna keep an eye within 6 months to a year after signing on your house to potentially refinance so that you can get that FHA loan off of your mortgage. Therefore, it is better if you can go with the conventional loan because then you're just paying directly towards the house and the principal and the interest that comes with a regular mortgage. The pre-approval is going to let you know how much house you can afford. Get that again, how much house you can afford. It tells you, it makes it easy. So then you already know, okay, cool, I can afford a $300,000 house based on my income, based on my debt to income ratio. Cool, this is what it says I can afford. Now, you may not always want to go with what they tell you you can afford. Now, this is just my opinion, and no, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you from my experience, go with lower than what they're saying that you're pre-approved for. Because sometimes that'll get you into a situation where you buy more house than you can actually afford. And when you buy more house than you actually afford, then you basically become house poor, which is a saying which happens when you get into the house and you're like, oh my gosh, and it's the honeymoon stage and you're like, till death do us part, and then death is knocking on the door very quickly on your wallet. So to avoid that, I think the rule and I'll look this up again, but I think the rule is like should be no more than 30% of your monthly salary. Your mortgage should be only 30% of your monthly salary. So if you're following those rules, you should be good. And number 3, you need a good, if not decent credit score. I would say anywhere between 670 and above. Now, sometimes you can get lower than that, but what's gonna really affect this the most is 1, your history, and then 2, on time, right? How far away from your last late payment? You basically want to have no late payments. Your payment history accounts for 30% of your credit score. That is a heavy chunk. So if 30% is based on credit history, you really want to keep that in shape. If you can, wait it out. If your credit score is not right, keep paying on those bills, pay everything on time, call them up, find out, hey, what do I need to do? My credit score is this. Can I make some kind of arrangement with you? Can I pay this much and knock it off? There are some services that people offer. I can't really speak to them because I haven't really used those services. My own personal situation, I looked up my statements, I called my credit card companies, I called my bank, and I found out, okay, who do I owe? Where do I owe? How much do I owe? And how fast can I knock it down? And I just budgeted and started figuring it out and just threw everything I could at the wall until it stuck. And that's really how I got my credit score up. Number 4, find the realtor. I have an amazing realtor that I have, and interesting enough, I didn't look for a realtor first, and come to think about it, I actually found my realtor through Zillow. I actually kind of worked this backwards, which is why I'm telling you the way to do this, right? But it does work out if you look for homes first, after you get like pre-approved and things like that, and you're already looking for homes, and then sometimes you can get a realtor, in my situation, through Zillow. The contact agent that I got in contact with was the one who ended up being my realtor. Her name's Courtney, and she was absolutely fantastic. And if you live in the Tennessee area, let me know, I'll hook you up. But walked me through the entire process, made it literally flawless, her and her entire team. So you wanna have a realtor that you trust, that you can get along with, has a really good rapport with people, and you can usually tell that on, first and second contact with them. You can usually tell what kind of person you're getting and if you guys are gonna vibe, Number 5, start house hunting. This part is so much fun. Now you're house hunting and you're searching for your house, your dream home, your rental property, your Airbnb, whatever it may be. And this part is where it gets really interesting. You can use Zillow, Redfin. There's a bunch of different sites that you can use or you can just drive around, right? Take you and your family, take a couple friends or yourself, let down the windows, find that property that you're looking for, whether it's a new build, new construction, right? Or you have a used home that you're like, you know what? I want to fix this up and make this my own. Maybe something not too crazy expensive as your starter home, or you may want something that you're like, you know what? I don't really want to work on this home at all. I just want something that's just turnkey and I can just get in here and lay back, put my feet up, and it's all done. This process is very fun, especially for your first home. Number 6, make an offer on the house. Once you find the house that you like, that you want, and you're like, man, that's where I want to be, whether it's a starter home, whether it's a rental property, whether it's a business investment, that's where I want to be. And the next step will be, if you're serious, to give your earnest deposit. Your earnest deposit is going to be anywhere between 1 and 2% of the purchase price. And if I'm not saying that correctly, I'll have some words right here. But typically that's what the situation is that you usually have to give 1 to 2% that will start the contract. That contract then says, hey, as a buyer, I am serious. Here's my earnest deposit money. And once you get that money, don't plan on getting it back, at least in most cases, right? And that's the whole point. You're giving them this money saying, hey, I am ready to buy this house. This is a signed contract between the two of us that's saying you are agreeing that you're gonna sell me this house at such price, and that's what the agreement is. And because I'm serious about buying this house, I'm gonna seriously give you this check. And you're gonna put this on the side, which is going to go towards closing costs of the house. And then I'm going to move towards the process with my loan officer and all those other people who are part of the process to push this along. You're gonna take this house off the market in the sense that you're saying, hey, this was under contract, right? Anytime you see a house and it's like under contract, that's what this process is. You've given that earnest money. This house is about to be yours. So for number 7, I'm going to combine getting a home inspection with the back end things that I never knew I had to deal with concerning the bank who's giving you the money. So check this story out. For me, buying a home, once the bank really gets involved and they want to check your 2 months bank statements, and they're also checking into your taxes and your history, it gets, how do I like to call it? It gets very invasive, right? To me, it was interesting because the timing was so crazy. Me and my girlfriend were back in my hometown. I bought this really expensive steak dinner with a couple of my friends, and we were drinking wine and having a great time. And we're thinking, oh yeah, it's all good. The very next week or week after that, the bank's like, hey, can you send us your past 2 month statements? And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh God. And I thought, it wasn't that big of a deal, but my mind, I'm like, they're gonna think I'm reckless. I'm over here spending so much money on this fancy steak dinner, and we're all dressed up all nice and all these things. And honestly, it's an interesting experience, but you do want to keep that in mind, that it can become a little invasive, and they do and will see everything in your bank statements. And I do mean everything. So get ready. But no, it's not that big of a deal, but it's a very interesting process that I just wanted to share with you. Once you get past that process and things are moving along, then you're going to get into the home inspection, which is very cool. This means you're pretty far along if you're getting a home inspection. And keep in mind, though I had a brand new home that was built from scratch and new materials and all these things, there were still things, even if small, that my inspector found. Basically anything that is not up to code, anything that does not meet the specs of what the home should be, and they're gonna cover you. So it may seem like, oh, I don't really wanna spend the money on that. I'm telling you, do not take the chance. It is worth every penny, because just one small thing can cost thousands of dollars if overlooked. So don't take the chance. If you have the time and you're buying a home, you already are in the process, you already saved up the money, put $400 to $500 on the side for a home inspection. Brand new or a used home, it is absolutely necessary. You won't regret it. Which leads us to number 8, the home appraisal. Now, around the home appraisal time is where the appraiser needs to estimate the value of the home depending on the market, depending on the location, and they take that, they provide that information back to whoever is giving you your loan. The reason they do that is because they're not going to give you more money than what the house is worth. So they get it appraised, they find out what is it worth, and lenders require that before providing the loan. And so then we have number 9, which leads us to asking for those repairs that we mentioned prior from the inspection. What will happen in this process is you'll talk to your realtor, the realtor then talks to the sales agent then talks to the builder, or as a group via group emails, which a lot of my exchanges happen, and they say, hey, we need this and this fixed. In some cases, you can ask for the price of the house to come down depending on what the damage is and what you're gonna have to fix. They can usually use that to say, hey, we're gonna have to put such and such money into wiring or plumbing. If you guys are not gonna do it, we need that to come off the sales price, which then leads us to number 10, my favorite part. You know what, it's my second favorite part, the blue tape walk. You get a roll of blue tape, you get to go in there, act like a 3-year-old and tape everything, tape it all. If you see something that's not right, you're handing these people a lot of money. Give them the tape, give them the blue tape of shame. No, I'm kidding, but seriously, you are really exchanging hundreds of thousands of dollars for your home. And once you sign those papers and get those keys, for the most part, whatever's there is not going to change. So take your time, blue tape that sucker. And after that, you then do the final walkthrough. It's nice to see all that come to fruition and to be like, wow, we're here, we did it. All that hard work from step 1 to now has paid off, and I'm about to get the keys. Which leads us to number 11, sign and get your keys. Woo! We did it. You did it. You bought your house. You got the keys. Welcome to mortgage life. No, but seriously, you get the keys, you take your picture for Instagram, must put that picture on Instagram for the world to see, to say, yes, I am a home owner. American dream, I can die in peace. Maybe not, but either way, no, I'm kidding. But seriously, at this point, you've done it. Great job, well done. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you today. I really hope you enjoyed it. I really appreciate you tuning in. And if you have any comments, help somebody out. This is a community. Please post it below. If you like this, please hit the like button, subscribe, so that YouTube can suggest this video to someone else and help them. Other than that, I do hope you have a great day. Love you guys. Peace.